Hello and welcome everybody to this month's Teacher Talks. This is our monthly webinar series, and this month we are focusing on the theme of student mental health. Thank you so much to everyone who's introducing themselves in the chat. I see that we have people from Spain, that's where I'm based, from the UK originally. So hello to all the UK people as well. And even someone from Las Vegas. You must be the middle of the night for you. But hello, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all of you. I'm very excited to get things started today. For those of you who have never been to a Teacher Talks webinar, this is how it's going to go. I'm your host. My name is Alex. I will be guiding you through today. We have three guest speakers. The first speaker is our resident pedagogy and research expert, Pekka Pura. So he's my colleague. Our second speaker will be a teacher from Australia, Bernadette. And our third teacher will be Daniel, a teacher from the Philippines. And I see we have some Australians and Philippines in today. So that's very exciting. And anyone who's been to these before, you will know all participants receive a certificate of attendance. This is you can then show to your school administrator to use for PD credits. So that will be coming, as well as a recording of this webinar. So this whole webinar is being recorded. So I know for some of you, this is still during your working day. So if you have to step out and do something and you miss something, don't worry. You can go back and watch the recording. So the email with the certificate and the recording should be sent within the next couple of days. So it will be heading your way, so don't worry. Now, if you have any questions throughout the webinar, I can see lots of you are writing in the chat already, which is great. However, specific questions, if you could write them in the Q&A button. So on my screen, next to the green arrow share button, there is a question mark button which says Q&A. In there, when you write a question, my colleagues Lavinia and Mana will be able to answer it. And the advantage of writing in there is that it might get lost in the chat. And at least there, if you've got a question, it might be the same question that somebody else has, and at least everybody can see the answer to it, so it doesn't get repeated. So if anything comes up where you think, oh, I really need to think about something that the speaker has just said, I need to clarify something, then you can do so in that Q&A. Okay, so I think that's all the housekeeping that we need to know. Let's go on to Pekka. So usually we focus on the Kahoot learning experience for the different types of pedagogy that fit in the academic cycle. And we will talk about that a bit today. However, this is a special themed webinar. So we're going to be talking about mental health, how to cultivate a positive classroom experience for everybody. And so Pekka is a former maths and science teacher in Finland and now the pedagogy and research expert. He's going to go through some of the academic foundations behind the Kahoot tools. So over to you, Pekka.
Thank you, Alex, and hello, everyone. I'm really excited to be here with you and share some insights about student mental health and also Kahoot. I'm also a former teacher. I've been a high school teacher for 10 years before joining Kahoot, and I'm based in Helsinki, Finland. So greetings from Finland to everyone. Let's start with the live demo right away. So I'm gonna share my screen and I'm gonna show you how to fire up Kahoot in only with 2 clicks. So we work hard all the time to make the life for teachers as easy as possible. And this is something I want to show you. So I'm going to use my first click now. We are on my home page on my Kahoot platform. I see my recent Kahoots here. And my first click will be clicking here, opening my Teach Talks presentation that I have for you today. Here we have a few new menu buttons. I could host this live. I could have an interactive slideshow that I'm going to use today. I have also an option to assign my Kahoot to students. And there is also a self-study options, how I could study on my own. I could use flashcards or even play this Kahoot solo. And these are really good for students especially. But today I'm gonna showcase a lecture mode, which is one of the favorite modes for me. And I'm going to use my second click right now. So I'm clicking this lecture button, and here we have my presentation is already started. This is my first slide, and everything is ready. So this lecture mode is an interactive mode. So we are going to be in interaction with you. So please join with me for this Kahoot, either by using this QR code or then entering the game pin 6161027. So here is the QR code and game pin that you can use. And I already see that there is participants joining: Diplomat Dog, Silly Llama, Polite Dragonfly. Welcome. So this is lecture mode. The participants is here. My Kahoot is already started. I can hide the list of participants for now if I want. And I'm gonna show you something from the settings also. So I'm opening the settings here, and why we are seeing these nicknames. You see when you enter, it asks you to choose or select ready-made nickname. So I have my nickname generator on. So the topic today is student mental health. And one way of reducing anxiety, stress, especially for the shy students, could be to use this nickname generator. So everyone knows that they are anonymous. They can play this without the other students knowing how they are interacting here. So I have this on for us today. If you as a teacher would still like to know who player is who, especially after the Kahoot, when you are checking the report, how they are doing, you could have this player identifier on. So you as a teacher would be able to see how the students are doing after the Kahoot when you are checking the report, if you have this player identifier on. But we are having it off today. So I'm seeing that we have already 55 participants, and you are able to join also during this presentation. Just use this game pin. So I'm gonna hide also this QR code here, and we are having our presentation on. So the topic is student mental health, and I'm going to also talk about Kahoot learning experience. And let's start with a drop-in question. So nice way to start a learning or teaching session could be to ask students how they are, what's today's mood. And we could use a poll question type for this, but today I'm going to use a drop-in for this. So here's 9 different image of Snoopy, and please place a pin somewhere that is describing your mood today. So place a pin and then click the submit button for the answer to be recorded. And we have 5 more seconds to go, and then we will see. Excellent. So I see that you have a lot of hearts. Thank you. it's a good feeling. Nice feeling, and also some other feelings that is really understandable. Thank you. So next we have a true and a false question, and one actually what is typical for this lecture mode, it actually shows the question uh, before the actual before you can answer, and I can actually monitor how long this question will be visible. So I have a full control of this also. So the first question is it's a statement, and the statement says that Kahoot can reduce academic stress and anxiety among students. And let's see what do you are thinking of this. So it's a true and false question. You have 5 more seconds to be. Yeah. So 58 of you are thinking it's true, and yes, it is. We have a huge academic research and evidence backing our statement. So we know that the Kahoot is really good for engagement and motivation, but this research is also saying that students are actually achieving better grades with Kahoot. It affects positively for classroom dynamics, attitudes towards learning, but also for mental health. The research is saying that Kahoot has a moderate effect on reducing anxiety levels among students. And we have more than 150 peer-reviewed studies from over 50 different countries that is saying that Kahoot has a lot of positive outcomes for learning. But why? What does the psychology of play say why this works? So here is, for example, 3 different mechanisms that are unloading academic stress for students. One is reframing failure as play. So when using gamification during teaching, it allows to students to be wrong without that being such a big thing. It's there's a freedom of play, and the feeling is more than okay, let's try this. I'm allowed to try without being right all the time. So it's a low stakes environment, and at the same time, it is building self-efficacy. So as I said, the mistakes are not catastrophic failure, but they are data points for the next attempt. And this is building students' confidence one question at a time. And then this interaction and doing it together. The power of playing and learning together is really significant. So the collaborative environment is really helping both. It promotes learning and also it can reduce anxiety. So how we are doing it, what kind of tools we are offering for you. And for that, we have created this Kahoot learning experience model for you to understand better how and when Kahoot can be used effectively. So in this model, we have 6 sections. We have the first is efficient preparation. Second is impactful instruction. Then we have playful practice, memorable review, effective assessment, and group achievement. These are all something that Kahoot can be used in teaching and learning. And I'm going to show you really shortly how and what we are offering here, so you do understand the bigger picture behind Kahoot. And I'm going to start with a question. We have also a Kahoot AI generator. And what do you think? What is the Kahoot AI generator best used for? At which stage of the teaching and learning cycle. So is AI generator best used for efficient preparation or impactful instruction or playful practice or efficient assessment? What do you think? Yes, we have answers for every one of these, but the efficient preparation got the most answers, and that's the correct one also, at least how I am seeing this. So, as I said, we try to make teachers' lives as easy as possible. The topic today is student mental health, but also teachers' mental health is as important. So we try to find ways how to make the life of the teacher easy, and this efficient preparation is one key point for that. And especially in the age of AI now, we have also created really cool and working AI tools for you to, for example, to generate Kahoots really easily. If you have, for example, a PDF or you want to use some URL or Wikipedia article to create Kahoots with a few clicks, it's possible, and it takes only a few seconds to create a Kahoot from zero. The other option for easy preparation and efficient preparation is slide sync. This is a feature that I also used when creating this slideshow for you. So I actually created these slides in a Google Slide, and then I synced my Google Slide account with Kahoot, and with one click, it imported all the Google Slides I had into Kahoot. And then if I made some edits in the Google Slide, I could update my Kahoot with just one click. So that is the slide sync feature, works for Microsoft PowerPoints also. And then, of course, we have quite a lot of ready-to-play Kahoots for you. For impactful instruction, we have lecture mode. That's the mode that I'm using right now. We have accuracy mode. You will have more examples of that later. Our ambassadors are going to show or talk something about this. And then we have game modes for collaborative, future-ready skills boosting teaching. So we have team modes and game modes for that. For playful practice, you are able to assign Kahoots for students, for student-based challenges. Student can study with our self-study modes, and this is a good hint for you. You can also ask students to create Kahoots for their peers. So they don't only play, they can also create the Kahoot and learn by creating. For memorable review, the Kahoot, one of the why Kahoot is so powerful is the instant feedback it's giving for students. For differentiated learning, you can assign personalized Kahoots for students according to their needs, or you can use Kahoot for example, for exit tickets for checking if what has just been taught is it also learned. So next we have a type answer question. Statement is Kahoot provides immediate feedback, making it an effective what kind of a tool. So please type your answer, and in the image here, there's a hint. You can it's one of the bird that is seeing in the image. So Kahoot provides immediate feedback, making it an effective what tool. So you can type your answer and then press submit, and let's see what you answered. So the words that I'm trying to get is assessment. 10 of you wrote assessment. One of you wrote formative assessment, and let's see if you have some kind of yours. Yeah, I see this is a correct one. Learning, 10 of you answered learning, and I'm actually going to accept that too. So whoever answered learning or instructional, good. Feedback, instruction, engagement. Okay, I'm going to give you a lot of right answers here. So let's have it a new try. And now we have a lot of more right answers here. But the answer that I was trying to get was assessment. So we have advanced report tool. So you are able to get really great analytics for formative assessment. You are also able to identify questions and topics that need reteaching, and it's also giving you a possibility to assess the progress over time. I'm going to really shortly show you in a few minutes how does that look. Then we have the last one is group achievement in our model. So we have a tool called Kahootopia for celebrating success together. If you haven't checked that out, I'm really encouraging you to check it. And the last question we have is, at which stage of the teaching and learning cycle does Kahoot provide you with the greatest support? So when you use Kahoot, is the best support in the preparation phase or instruction phase, or when you are giving your students to practice, or is it helping you the most in the assessment part or group achievement? Please place a pin and let's see how you are feeling. Okay, there is a lot of pins all over this model, so it shows that this Kahoot is helping you a lot in many different phases of teaching and learning. So let's do slides. If you want to learn more, we have 10-minute PD courses in our Kahoot Learning Experience channel. So you are able to learn how to use Kahoot in different ways in a really short time. For example, learn how to use accuracy mode or lecture mode in 10 minutes, learn how to create Kahoot courses in 10 minutes, learn how to use Kahoot reports in 10 minutes, learn how to learn about Kahoot's question types in 10 minutes. We have a lot of really short courses for you available. And then if you want to learn even more, we have Kahoot Certified for Schools program. So just go kahoot.com/certified, and we have courses there. These are a bit longer courses, approximately 30 minutes each, and you will learn a lot more how to use Kahoot effectively. So here I have ended my Kahoot, and one last thing what I want to show you is this session summary. We don't have a podium here because, as you might see, that I didn't give any points from the answers. So this was a low stake, no stress, reducing anxiety type of Kahoot with no points, no podium. But I, as a teacher, I'm still able to see the full report how this went. So I'm not stopping sharing my screen. I want to show the report to you too. So I see how did you do, who didn't finish, who need more help, which were the most difficult questions, and also in the participants, if I would use the player identifier there, I would also see your names, but now I only see the nicknames of you. But that's it. It was a pleasure to speak to you, and back to you, Alex.
Thank you so much, Pekka. That was brilliant. I think it's really important to see how you can adapt your Kahoots for every session. So you can make things anonymous so people have the nickname generator. You can hide the points, show the points, depending on the student's mood. And I love opening with an opinion-based question. So it's not about the points, just how does everyone feel? And then you can adapt the lesson accordingly. Okay, so next up we have Bernadette Smith, who is joining us from Brisbane in Australia, and we're very grateful because Brisbane has had a lot of storms and they lost power, but she's back on now, which is very exciting. Bernadette has been teaching for the past 25 years and is a primary school teacher, specializing in lower primary levels, and recently has started working as an online educator for this age group. So introducing new challenges there. So Bernadette, would you like to tell us all about it?
Thank you so much, Alex, for that lovely introduction. And thank you so much, Pekka, as well, because I have not seen that nickname generator and I'm going to be using that. So that's a great tip. Welcome to everybody, wherever you are, whatever time zone you're in. Now, I'm here because I'm really passionate about Kahoot. I've seen the improvements that it's made for my kids, not just academically, but in their confidence, in their ability to interact with others, and just in their demeanor as well. So I'll share my screen and we'll get started. Okay. So, today I'm talking to you about positive, productive practices. And as Alex said, I've been teaching for almost quarter of a century, still love it, still am aiming to engage and motivate and add value to 100% of my kids all the time. So, what makes Kahoot so impressive? As you just heard from Pekka, it's adaptable to a variety of educational and institutional settings. It's tailor-made to the needs of individuals and groups. It benefits both the teacher and the student, the leader and the learner. It's not just for educational settings. If you're in the business world, it's great for training as well. As you saw the way Pekka ran this, you can run that to train people in your organization and make sure that they're getting that information that they need to know. So, most of my 25 years has been between two schools. So, I'm going to talk about the experiences I've had with Kahoot in those two schools. And I've called it the tale of two schools. One was a rigorous academic, highly competitive school, and the second, a world of needs and differences school. Both these schools need the ability to access data that identifies and strengthens. It also needs to identify the weakness of the students. Both teachers need to be able to identify topics that need further consolidation. But everybody needs it to be an effective tool that encourages improvement. And as you just saw with Pekka, getting those results with assessment is really valuable. So this is actually a picture of one of my Kahootopias, which the kids completely love. In both schools, it's a winner. So what motivates the kids? A lot of it is what motivates us. We love parties, bonuses, promotions, success. We love praise. We love winning. And the kids love these things too. Oh, let me just jump back there for a minute. And with Kahootopia, they get those rewards, they get those bonuses, they see that they're growing, and they can actually become real estate tycoons, which is super awesome. So let me talk first about the academic, rigorous, highly competitive school. These were some of the games that the children at this school really, really loved. They loved playing the Lost Pyramid, Color Kingdoms, Submarine Squad, Robot Run, Tallest Tower, the Tallest Tower Cosmic Quest, and Team Mode. Now, you would think that being highly competitive, they may not love these games, but these kids really did love to work with their friends and collaborate. So, in the class setting, it was so cool because those highly academic kids would naturally gravitate and team up with the kids who needed support in their team. but they would do it in a way that really got around those students, included them, and made them feel good. If you have ever watched little kids sport, anybody who has ever shot a goal in soccer, you might call it football where you are, we call it soccer, okay, and missed, if the rest of the team gets down on that student or child, teammate, they don't play better. They tend to play worse. But if the team gets around that student, teammate, and says, oh, good effort, good try, we'll get them next time, they are encouraged and they feel part of the team and they're motivated to keep trying and to continue on their journey. So that's what these students learnt to do. They learnt to encourage and motivate everybody in their team to lift the team and to continue on and to achieve the best they possibly could. So this school particularly did a lot of work, a lot of explicit teaching of character, values, to assist its students to develop higher EQ, the emotional quotient skills, to match their IQ abilities. And it's hoped that this will really help them once they leave school into the workplace and in real life. So it built a collaborative atmosphere. It provided the opportunity to develop those character skills as well as the academic skills. And it allowed the kids that didn't win often that to be able to have a chance to win. And those who used to win all the time, it gave them the opportunity to learn to lose well. And that's really, really important in life. So, because I didn't want the kids to just do that mode, and I did have a highly competitive class, and I needed to give them the chance to actually, cream rise to the top, motivate, challenge. We did play some games, best of the best, where we used classic mode, and those kids really loved that. And I would use that mode in streamed classes where you would have the kids that are achieving in the top 10%, they would all be in a class. You'd have those middle students, and then you'd have the students needing support might actually be in a class together. So that way it was much more competitive and you could really see who was the best of the best. So at other times in other classes, it might be when those students who needed support actually went to other lessons, because when it's in classic mode, sometimes those students don't get the best value out of classic mode, but it's great for those top students. It's also important that the kids learn that not everybody gets a prize. It's an important social lesson, an important life lesson. So when you're considering when to use classic mode, I would choose this when it's a real competition, when it wouldn't have a negative impact on particular students, and when success was its own reward. So these are really important things to consider. So in this environment, being the best was a really highly motivating factor, and students wanted to be the best, and they would study, in fact, to be able to be the best in the Kahoot. Especially if we'd played the Kahoot before and they knew what was coming, speed and retention actually became paramount. So let me quickly discuss too the World of Needs and Differences school. So at this school, flexibility, fun, fairness, safety, and security were really important. Now, these students did not like some of the other games, and there were some very good reasons for that. The games they did love were Color Kingdoms, Tallest Tower, Team Mode, Chill Art, their favorite being Accuracy Mode. The reasons they didn't like some of the other games was because a lot of these students come from domestic violence situations. So anything that involved chasing or having something that could give them a little bit of where they didn't feel quite as safe, or something that connected to a trauma in their past, they would shut down and they would actually leave the class. So always make sure that your children feel safe and secure. And in this school, that was a very important thing. So these children, I would always give them a chance to vote and have their say about which game that we're going to play. And they did like these games because they wanted to be part of a team. They also wanted to gain personal confidence and academic excellence as well. So I still did play the best of the best, but using accuracy mode where it can be you, where it's not just one child, it's where if you know it, you can achieve it. And that really lifts confidence because the reluctant speakers have developed confidence over time. They've come out of their shells, they've begun answering questions in class when they feel that they've got something to offer and that they will be safe and respected. So this has been a great and positive achievement for my class in this school. Accuracy mode, as I said, it is our gold star game. It is the one that children love the most because they really love to win. They love to know that they have the chance. I can slow it down. I can actually even use it for teaching. So when the question comes out, I can even teach them and guide them through. I can get a little bit of feedback and have a look at their faces to see how they're going and if I need to give them more support as we're answering these questions. So you can really guide and use this to get the most out of your students. Solo mode is something that's really important too for kids that might have some special needs or some trauma. You can play as often as you want. You can send this out to particular students or your whole class in advance. And that's a great thing. A lot of my kids request games to be sent to them, and I'm just about to show you too how you can do that. So it can consolidate the learning too. If you notice a few kids are struggling, you can send the games out to them as well. So this is how I do it. There might be some other ways that you can look at it as well. So I go into solo mode. I assign it to groups of students. Now I actually email it out specifically because we have some students who can't be identified and we just have some really strict privacy laws, which is why you don't see any pictures of my kids up here or my class because I can't show them to you. So I would go down, I would create personalized learning, I'd set my timer and I'd press create. Then over here, I copy the URL code, should I say, and I email it out blind copy to each person in my class. But there's a lot of different ways that you can assign it. You need to have a play and work out what's going to be the best for you in your class, what's going to give you the results that you want. All right, here's an awesome article that I came across that really focuses on uh, the benefits of Kahoot in the productive practice and positive sense. I've put the little link there, and it's from an excellent educator, Alf Wang, and these are just a little snippets from his article. So, productive, why should you use it? In over 90 studies that looked at the academic value of Kahoot, 70%, which is huge, showed that Kahoot significantly raised students' final grades or test scores. Now, as educators, that's one of the key goals that we have compared to other teaching methods. So, if you want something that's bang for your buck, if you want something that's going to help your students in getting from A to B as quickly as possible, then this is of great value to you. Practice, how is it achieved? Kahoot focuses on important student learning outcomes by boosting engagement, participation, and motivation through game-based learning experiences, fostering positive class experiences. Now, this is huge because you want as close to 100% engagement as you possibly can get. You want buy-in, and this platform, it does it. And positive. A lot of people have the argument, doesn't this platform stress children out? No, it doesn't, especially when you use it well. When you think about the purpose that you have for the game, when you're really planned and what you're going to do is on purpose, this actually reduces it. As Pekka said before, the anxiety levels drop. And I have a lot of kids with anxiety in my class, and it actually takes that anxiety away because they're building their confidence. So, nearly all of the studies that examined Kahoot found that it actually reduced student anxiety, which is the opposite to what some people think, compared to traditional teaching approaches or other online tools. And I have some good debates with other teachers where I work about some other platforms, and Kahoot is by far the best one from where I'm standing. You may disagree, that's okay. So, this is one of the ideas that I've had. I thought I'd share it with you because it's super fun and the kids loved it. And you can use it in so many different settings. So I did a revision treasure hunt. The students would do short revision Kahoot with me. They would end in a clue where to get the next QR code. They'd scan that code to go to Kahoot, and then they'd play a short Kahoot to get the next QR code to find the clue for the next clue in the treasure hunt. So it just went on until they got all the clues and they found the treasure. And the kids worked in teams of two to be able to do this game, and they just loved it so much. It was their favorite thing that they remembered throughout the year. So, whether you implement Kahoot as a game within a game, whole class, small group, solo mode, flipped classroom style, individual extension, consolidation, assignments, or as a means of keeping engagement while you deliver content, whichever way you choose to use it, you'll find that this tool is a game changer. And gamified learning brings the fun back into teaching and learning, and it's only limited by your imagination. So I hope you guys have a lot of fun. It's such an intuitive platform. All you have to do is get out there, have a go, and you'll see the impacts for yourself. Have a great whatever time of day it is, wherever you are, and farewell. Bye from me.
Thank you so much, Bernadette. That was fantastic. It was so cool to see how you've adapted all the Kahoot tools depending on what type of kids you've got. Obviously, the highly competitive ones will favor different types of games to the ones that are have had a bit more trauma in their lives. They might need more support and need something a bit more like chill art or something a bit calmer and easier. And I absolutely love the treasure hunt. I think that's a really cool idea. Okay, so moving on to our final speaker of the day, we have Daniel Timbal, who's joining us from Davao City in the Philippines. Daniel wears many hats in his school, but he is the IT in charge and the person that trains students of all ages at his school, but mostly in the secondary school area. So I will hand over to you, Daniel.
Thank you, Alex, for that kind introduction. Hello, everyone from all over the world. I'm Daniel from the Philippines. I teach science and ICT. But more than that, I love turning into something students actually look forward to. Let me share my slides. Right. So please join our slides by scanning the QR code on the left or keying our game pin. Are you seeing my screen?
Yes, we can see your screen.
All right. Okay. So over the years, I've learned that when students are happy, they learn better. And that's exactly what we're talking about today. Creating positive, productive, and supportive learning spaces for both students and teachers, of course, using Kahoot. All right. Please join. Okay. So moving forward, I want to ask this question. Why does a positive classroom climate matter in learning? Okay. 20 seconds for those who are already tuned in. And all right. So there are 41 who got the correct answer. It helps students feel safe, valued, and motivated to learn. You know, it's easy to focus on what we teach, the lessons, the competencies, but sometimes we forget how students feel while they're learning. So when students feel valued, they take risks, they ask questions. They don't shut down when things got wrong because they trust that mistakes are part of learning. It is not just what we teach, it's how students feel while learning. So according to researchers in or from APA and the National School Climate Center, shows that students in positive classrooms have higher engagements and performance. So yes, classroom climate matters more than we think. And tools like Kahoot help us build that kind of climate. So let's be real. Let's all teachers. The classroom takes our mood. If we're stressed, the students feel it. But if we start the class with enthusiasm, even a simple good morning class, let's have fun today, it changes the energy immediately. As teachers, we set the tone. Our energy shapes the classroom atmosphere. What works for me? Encouragement, humor, a bit of vulnerability. If I make mistakes on Kahoot, I laugh at myself, and suddenly my students know that it's okay to do the same. Remember, our emotions don't just teach content, they teach mindset. And Kahoot's new feature, the one introduced by Pekka a while ago and also by Bernadette, the accuracy mode, is really a must try. This mode removes speed bonuses. It's a classic mode, no, with accuracy twist. So you can reach the top spot by answering correctly. And my students love it. No? If you have not tried it, please do so. Now, let's talk about play. Kahoot isn't just a game, all right? So it's a learning tool disguised as fun. It turns every sessions into celebration. When my students hear that Kahoot music, you can literally see their eyes lights up. And what's great is it levels the playing field. Even quiet students participate because everyone has a voice to the quiz. Assessment stops feeling like a test. It becomes a shared challenge. Now let's feel it again by answering this question. Humans only use 10% of their brains. Okay? So is it true? Is that all? Sometimes true? Only during exams? All right. Key in. All right. So the answer is, fortunately, false. All right. So only 14 got the correct answer. Scientific evidence shows that we use virtually every part of our brain. So that's what playful learning does. It connects engagement with our emotions. So how do we make every class feels like that? Not just the Kahoot ones. So here are few small routines that I practice in the classroom. I do Kahoot warm-ups. So you start a class with a Kahoot. Check in about everyone's feelings or what made them smile this week. I do collaborative Kahoot. So let students create their own quizzes. You know, students will review content without even realizing it. Reflection rounds. And the class with questions like, what's one thing you learned or laugh about today? Pause for applause. Celebrate effort. not just the top scorers. These routines builds habit of belonging and gratitude, the foundation of a positive climate. Now, here's one thing I always remind myself. Mistakes are not interruptions, they're invitations. When a student answers incorrectly, I don't say, no, that's wrong. I say, that's a great start. Who can build on that idea? And in Kahoot, I highlight the progress bar, not just the rank. Even a simple comment like, you move up 2 places, motivates them more than the word perfect ever could. Let's answer another question. Lightning never strikes the same place twice. Is it always true? Is it only on open fields? False? Or depends on the weather? All right? 4, 3, 2, 1, and the correct answer is false. Lightning often strikes the same place, according to researchers. So when students feel they belong, everything changes. Wait, my camera, can, can you still hear me?
Yeah, we can still hear you, we just can't see you.
All right. I think my camera, uh, anyway, I'll moving forward.
Don't worry, carry on.
All right. So again, when students feel they belong, everything changes. So I often ask my students to design their own Kahoots about anything. Sometimes they make the ones about their hobbies, their hometowns, or even inside jokes. And what happens? They start teaching each other. They laugh together. They see that learning is shared. So it is in those moments that empathy, teamwork, and leadership grow naturally. Kahoot now becomes more than a quiz. It becomes a bridge. Let me tell you a quick story. Once I had a very quiet student, barely spoke all semester. Then one day, during a Kahoot review, she topped the leaderboard. The entire class cheered. And from that day on, she started volunteering in discussions. That one game helped her see herself differently. That's the power of the safe and encouraging environment. It gives students the confidence to show up. And over the years, I've learned from this. As teachers, we have to create safe spaces. Students thrive when they know it's okay to fail. We gamify learning, not for competition, but for connection. We model positivity. What we project as teachers, our students, they reflect it. And use Kahoot intentionally to build joy, not just measure knowledge. I'll end up with my favorite line, something I try to live by. A happy mind learns better. That's why I use tools like Kahoot to make every lesson a space for joy, not just grades. If our students remember one thing about us, teachers, it won't be the lesson or the scores. It'll be how they felt in our class. Thank you for listening. Afternoon in the Philippines.
Thank you so much, Daniel. That was fantastic. I really love that story about the student who was suddenly more confident to contribute in class after topping the leaderboard. I think that's really nice. And the idea that the students succeed when they know they're in a safe space to fail, and that failure can be reframed and it's just part of the learning process. I think that's absolutely fantastic. Thank you ever
They
so
are
much.
excited every time we play Kahoot in the
Oh,
class.
that's brilliant. And that is the joy of gamified learning. So thank you so much, Daniel. And I just wanted to say thank you to all our speakers that contributed today. So Pekka, Bernadette, Daniel, thank you so much for giving up your time and sharing with us today. And thank you all to the participants that came. If this is your first Teacher Talks, then welcome. But you can go on to kahoot.com /webinars. And under all the school webinars, we have lots of Teacher Talks that you can go back and look at the recordings. If there's any topics that we covered today that you want to know a bit more about, whether it's, we mentioned things like Kahootopia, we mentioned game modes, we have special webinars that explore those topics. So please go back and have a look. And in terms of the recording for this webinar, this will be sent to everybody. So expect something in your inbox either tomorrow or Friday, but you'll get the recording of the webinar and you will also get a certificate. So thank you everyone for coming, and I will see you all on the podium. So